Don't waste energy on things you cannot control. This is Callan with Integral Lifestyle Design, and I want to go into how a lot of people waste their mental energy on things that they cannot control. This is a lesson in the fundamentals of Stoicism and in allowing yourself to be, I guess, unmoved by things that are outside of yourself. The only thing that you can control is yourself, right? You can influence other things, you might even have power over other things, but you can't control them the same way that you can control your own body. It's the only thing you have control of is your mind and your body. So it's a philosophy, and it comes from a Stoic philosophy. It's basically if something happens that you cannot control, the solution to that that's going to give you the most amount of happiness is going to be to not try to control it, to not worry about it. If it's something you cannot change, don't worry about it. Now, if you can change it, say something happens like you lost your job, that's something you didn't have control over that. It happened. You lost your job. Even if you slacked off or whatever, like you've gotten to a point now where you've lost your job. That's the current moment. If you can get a new job, of course you should do that, right? Because of course, yeah. But don't try and worry about, oh, I should have done this differently and this differently and this differently, and then I would still have my job. You can contemplate and sort of figure out what you did that made you lose the job, but you can't like mentally beat yourself up about it. Basically, learn from your mistakes and move on. So, yeah, you just cannot control things. I can give you a personal example. So, with my eyes, I am legally blind, visually impaired, and I have no control over that. So, I could spend time and basically spend time like stressing about it and worrying and feeling sorry for myself because I can't see colors and various things, right? I could spend my life doing that, and I could feel sorry for myself and miserable, and maybe I could make other people pity me and whatever, right? But at the end of the day, that is a complete waste of time and a complete waste of energy. That is not something I can control, and as a result of me not being able to control it, it's something that I don't spend my mental energy on. I don't sit around thinking, oh, how nice would it be to have like 20/20 vision? Because it's not going to happen, so who cares? I don't worry about it. You know, if you get sick, say, or you break your leg, or your boyfriend, girlfriend breaks up with you, whatever it is, right? You can't control it. You have to accept that it happened. If a girl breaks up with you, same sort of thing. You just say, okay, well, that's done. Maybe you heal around it and you make peace with it. But you can't control it, so don't stress about it. Don't be like 2 years later worrying about it, worrying about how this girl left you. What you need to do is essentially accept it, heal from it. If there's some stuff you need to talk about, go and talk to a therapist or talk to your friends or something and take a period of time to heal. But once you've healed, you need to get on with your life. And then you need to go meet another girl or do whatever it is you want to do. But I see so many people like complaining about things that happen to them over and over and over again. And they've got this victim mindset that they're just constantly like chasing pity and feeling sorry for themselves and all of this. But that's going to do nothing for your life. That's not going to get you anywhere. You know, it's not going to do you any favors to have that sort of mentality and to go through life with that attitude. So really, just don't let other people, like other people's drama or other people's stuff get in your way. Because so many people, yeah, they just write these stories and they say, oh, this happened to me, oh, poor me, this happened, I got sick and my mum died and I lost my job and I have no money and this, that. You can't control it. It's happened, right? You can control what you do from this point onward. That's it. So figure out how you want to adapt. What's the next move you want to make? And that's a really important attribute of lifestyle design. This will make your mental health so much better because there's loads of things you can't control. If it's raining outside, you can just be like, oh, it's raining outside. I'm not really happy about that, but it's fine. And you move on with your life. Say if you want to go to work and it's raining outside, you're still going to go to work. Even if you don't want the rain to be there, right? You're still going to get up and go because there's an incentive that you need to go. So that's a very small example. And you don't want your mood to be controlled by something like the weather. Say if every time it rained, you were like in a bad mood, you'd be completely a slave to your emotions. You wouldn't be able to get anything done, right? Or if every time a girl broke up with you or one of your friends didn't want to see you or whatever, you felt miserable and like you were a worthless human being, then you'd have a really miserable existence. There'd be so much suffering. When that exact same thing can happen to someone else with a stronger mindset and they can just roll with the punches. You can hit them and maybe they'll fall down, but they're going to heal. They're going to come back up. They're not going to sit there like cowering in the fetal position in the gutter, just like feeling sorry for themselves. They're going to be able to get up and keep going. So don't worry about things you can't control. I say this to kids a lot of time at school. If they, like, for example, I had two kids and they were sort of running and they accidentally clashed heads, right? And the little year one boy, like little kids, like 7 years old. And the little boy, he was quite sad about this, as was the girl. The boy wasn't really hurt, but the girl wasn't really hurt either, but she went and put some ice on her head. And basically, what happened here is, like the little boy was quite upset about it and he's worried about it and he's like playing it back in his head over and over and over again. So I sort of sat down with him and I just explained what I'm explaining to you and basically said, okay, it's happened, you accidentally ran into this girl, you weren't watching where you were going, you didn't mean to do it, it was an accident, it's not like you did it on purpose, but it's happened now. And I'm sort of helping him to decompress it in that way. And I'm basically saying, it's happened and we need to move on from it. Like, you can't control the fact that it's happened. You said sorry, you did the right thing. She's okay, so we can move on. It's okay, We can go on to the next part of our life. We don't need to worry about that anymore. And I sort of showed him that it's okay. And I'm showing him that if you can't control something, don't stress about it. If something's already happened, learn from it, sure, but don't play it back in your head over and over again. And kids do get over stuff. Like in 10 minutes, he was over it, He'd healed from it, and I sort of just sat there and helped him out, and he was fine. He's running around happy in 10 minutes. But a lot of adults, they lose that ability. They hold a grudge, or they hold things, or they can't let go of things. They made a mistake in their life, or they did something, or they hurt somebody, or whatever. And maybe they've done the right things to apologize for it, or to heal from it, or whatever. But then they just cannot let go of it. So it doesn't matter what you do. I don't care what it is. I don't care how awful it is, right? If you've done something terrible, you're just going to suffer forever if you can't heal from it, if you can't deal with it, if you can't accept the fact it happened and learn from it and move on. So that's what I highly recommend doing. It's don't worry about things you can't control. If there's something happening in the world, like a lot of people watch the news or they complain about, politics or different human rights things around the world or whatever it is. It's don't stress about it if you can't control it. If you're yelling about how the politicians are useless, but you're not actually involved in politics, then what a waste of time. Why bother? You're just making yourself angry. You're just watching this stuff and intentionally making yourself pissed off for no reason. Right? And there's so many people that do that. They just complain over petty things. Yeah, the politics. There's probably other examples, but politics is the first one I thought of because there's so many people whinging about it. It's well, what are you doing to try and influence it or to try and fix it? And usually that's nothing, right? And that happens with so many different people in so many different parts of life. Or people complain about their job and oh, my job sucks. And well, you have control over it. Maybe you don't right now, but in a few years, you can probably almost certainly transition into something else you like doing more. So many people hate their life. They're oh, I'm single, I want a girlfriend, I want a better job, I want this, I want to lose weight, so and so on. You meet them in 10 years and they're saying the same thing because they never made any moves. So, if you can control it, go and do it. Go and fix it. If you can't control it, don't stress about it. If you get in a car accident and it just happened, it's just random chance, then heal from it, don't worry about it. It happened, it's in the past. If your boyfriend, girlfriend breaks up with you, don't worry about it. Move on, it's fine. Feel it, feel your emotions and everything, but then move on. You can't control it. If someone breaks up with you, you can't control that. They chose to do that. It doesn't matter what you thought. It doesn't matter if you were for it or against it. That's what they did. So yeah, don't stress about it. Try and live this chill life. The Stoics, I think culture sees them these hard men, right? And they see them toxic masculinity, not feeling their feelings. But that's not it. Like I've said before, Stoicism has 3 layers. There's basically you're a child and you're completely run by your emotions and you can't control them. And then you go through a level of trying to suppress them and then you become numb. And then you learn how to feel your emotions, but to control them. So Stoicism isn't about being numb, it's about being able to feel your emotions, but control them. And if you're triggered and basically if you're triggered by like every little trivial thing that happens in the world and you're scrolling through social media just getting offended by everything, then you're going to have a miserable life. Focus on the things you can control. And if something annoys you, do something about it. If you're not going to do something about it, then don't worry about it. Cool. Apart from that, like the video, comment, subscribe. Yeah, still making content every single day. Peace out, and I'll see you next time.